Dear friends, see last time we talked about Gauss law. Okay, now we saw that the Gauss law relate the electric field and its sources. In that case, we studied about electric field produced by infinitely long, uniformly charged linear distribution. Now we proceed further. Now today we have to find out electric field due to uniformly charged infinite plane surface. Okay, electric field due to uniformly charged infinite plane surface. Now see, whenever there is a plane surface, we have to go for the surface charge density. So we can write let surface charge density is sigma. Okay, now sigma we can write is, we know earlier that is, we saw that sigma is Q by A. Now let us say this is a uniformly charged infinite plane surface. We also assume that sigma is greater than 0, that means it contains positive charge. Now see, we have to find out, let us say, electric field at a point P, which is at a distance of x. Okay, now we can consider a plane surface which is enclosing P. Okay, now see, we have to find out electric field at point P. We know that whenever we have to find out electric field at a point, electric field at any point, see, we have to find out the force acting on a unit positive charge at that point. Okay, now this is also positive charge. See, our test charge is always positive charge. Which type of force? See, there will be repulsive, so electric field at point P will be like this. Now let us say this point P is situated at a distance of x. Now we consider another point P dash. We can consider another point P dash which is at the same distance from the surface charge distribution, let us say x. Now we can assume another surface passing through P dash. Now what about the direction? See, again the test charge will be unit positive charge plus 1. So what type of force? Repulsive force, so E. Now we consider a Gaussian surface enclosing this. Okay, we can consider a Gaussian surface enclosing this. Okay, now see, the total field, total flux passing through these two surfaces will be the summation of this. We know again the flux is a scalar quantity. So see, the electric flux passing through point P and P dash. See, the flux is phi, is, we can say, phi P plus phi P dash. Now we know the flux is E dot A. Now let us say the area enclosing the space is delta S. Here also is delta S. So the flux passing through this will be E into delta S plus. Okay, now right now we talk on only the magnitude. So the total flux. Also we saw that, we see that the P and P dash are the same distance. So we can say EP and EP dash will be equal, that is E into delta S Okay. Now delta S is the area under consideration. Now we know that delta S is equal to area is A. So flux is 2E into A. Now by Gauss law, flux phi is sigma q upon epsilon 0. Now we know sigma is the surface charge density. What do this suggest? In 1 meter square, charge will be equal to q upon a. Let us say area under consideration is a, that is nothing but sigma. Okay, or 1 meter square we can say sigma. So in a meter square area, that is sigma q. So we can say sigma q is sigma into a. Okay, now we can substitute this value of flux is. Okay, now this also shows the flux. Now we compare equation 1 and 2. So that is 2EA will be equal to sigma A upon epsilon 0. So E is equal to sigma upon epsilon 0. Now suppose we have to represent in a vector form that E is equal to sigma n caret. What will be n caret? That will be the unit vector in direction of electric field. So the n caret will be like this. Okay, this is nothing but electric field due to uniformly charged distribution. Right now we are consider sigma is a surface charge density, that is q by a, but we have seen that sigma, we have assumed that it is positive charge. Okay, so this is nothing but electric field due to surface charge distribution. Now next we have to see electric field due to uniformly charged thin spherical shell. Shell is a hollow sphere. So next we derive this. See, the question will be asked like this. Derive equation of electric field due to thin spherical shell. Okay, a shell is a hollow sphere. Now let us say, let R is radius of okay. Now let us say R is a radius of the spherical shell. Now because it is a hollow sphere, charge will be uniformly distributed on the surface of the shell. Okay. Now let sigma be surface charge density. Now first we have to find out electric field at any point inside the shell. So first will be like this. Electric field at any point let us say R is less than R. Now see, this is the radius of the shell. See our Gaussian surface. We consider spherical Gaussian surface of radius R. Okay, now what we see here is small r is less than capital R. Again, we see that the charge is uniformly distributed only on the surface of the shell. Now here, we have to find out electric field at any point inside the shell. So consider a spherical Gaussian surface okay. Now next you have to see the charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface under consideration. What we see here, see inside the shell there is no charge. So inside shell, no charge, sigma q is 0. Okay. Now by Gauss law, E dot delta S is equal to sigma q upon epsilon 0. Okay. Now delta S is the area but we know inside the shell there is no charge. So what we can see, E is equal to 0. So electric field at any point inside the shell will be equal to 0. Now next we have to find out electric field at any point outside shell R greater than R. Now for that we consider a Gaussian surface of radius capital R. Now see here R is the radius of the shell. Now we consider a Gaussian surface of radius R. Now we see the charge is uniformly distributed on the surface. So when we consider a Gaussian surface of radius R which is larger capital R, see all the charge on the shell will be enclosed inside this. Okay. Now consider a Gaussian surface. Consider a spherical Gaussian surface of. Now we have seen that all the charge will be enclosed in this Gaussian surface. So see our sigma q will be. Now we know see sigma is q by a, or we can say q upon a here. So q is equal to sigma a. Okay. Now what is a? Is the radius of the shell. Okay. Now by Gauss law, E dot delta S. Okay. Now suppose we have to find out electric field here. See direction of electric field. See both are positive charge. So there will be repulsion. So the electric field will be like this. Now this is delta S is the area of the Gaussian surface under consideration. So again the vector area vector delta S will be in the same direction of E. Now we substitute this value in this equation. So what we get here is E delta S 4 pi r square. Sigma q is nothing but sigma. Okay, so 4 pi is cancel. So E is equal to sigma. Okay, now with the first equation. Now instead sigma q we write only small q. Then we can write E into 4 pi r square. Sigma q is q upon, so E is equal to q upon 4 pi r square. See the vector form. Okay, this is how we can obtain electric field V2 in spherical shell. So by using the Gauss law, we obtained a different equation. Electric field V2 uniformly charged, infinitely long wire. Then we obtain electric field by uniformly charged infinite plane surface. Then finally uniformly charged thin spherical shell. Now let us revise all equation we derived, and we will draw graph also that will be useful to us in the MCQ. Now one by one we'll see. Now first we start with the uniformly charged infinitely long wire. This type of charge. In that we used linear charge distribution. See the equation was like this: E is equal to lambda upon Okay. Now what we see is inversely proportional to R. So the graph of electric field versus distance will be like this. Okay. Now secondly, uniformly charged infinite plane surface. Okay, now what we see here, nowhere the distance is coming, so the graph will be like this. Now here sigma and epsilon 0 for a given surface, sigma and epsilon 0 will be constant term, so the graph also will be a straight line. So what we see that the electric field due to uniformly charged infinite plane surface will be constant whatever distance may be. Now third, uniformly charged in spherical shell. Now here also we have had a surface charge density. Now here there were two cases, R less than capital R, electric field very small, and R greater than R, E is equal to sigma R square E0 R square, or E is like E is equal to Q upon 4 pi E0 R square. So what we see here, E is inversely proportional to R. So see, there will be two parts of the graph here. For let us say this is our origin, this is capital R. Okay, so for R less than R, electric field will be 0, and for R greater than R, see here somewhere it will be maximum on the surface, it will be maximum value, and for R greater than R will be like this. So see, these are the graph showing the variation of electric field for various distribution. Okay, so with that we come to end of the theory part of this lesson. Now we see the examples. Now earlier we have discussed example up to example 1.7. Now we proceed further. Now see the example 1.8. Now see, the question says, see, there is a uniform electric field of two into okay. Now see, an electron. Now see the direction of electric field is shown by the arrow. Now see the electric field cover distance, see the electron distance of 1.5 centimeter in this uniform electric field. See, we have to find out the time taken to cover this distance. Same thing we have to find out for the proton also. Now see here, see mass of the electron 9.11. Okay, so here we have to find out the time taken by electron to cover the given distance. Also we have to calculate the time taken by proton also to cover the same distance. Now see the formula. See, if we talk only the magnitude of the electric field, see E is equal to F upon Q. Here the charge is electron. So what is the formula? F is equal to E. We also know F is equal to MA. Now so see, because of the force of the electron, electric field, the electron will have an accelerated motion. So that will be the acceleration. E1 by E into capital E by M. Now distance is given. See the distance formula we are using this. V is 0 plus half at square. Here initial velocity of the electron is 0. So what is the equation here? Okay. So value of A we have just now obtained. E by M T square. T square will be 2dm. Okay. Now see all four values we are having. D we are having. Okay. Mass of the electron also we are having. And E and capital E. So we can substitute the values. Now distance is in 1.5 centimeter. We are converting MKS. Okay, so this is how we can obtain the time taken by electron to cover the distance. Now, the second part says that if the direction of the field is reverse, okay, direction of the field is reverse. Okay, now we have to find out, calculate time required by a proton to cover the same distance. So in the second part, see the all other things will remain same except the mass of the proton. TE we can say the time taken by electron to cover the distance. Similarly, TP is the time taken by proton. So again we can substitute 2dm by TE. Mass of the proton 1.67. Okay, so by using this we can calculate the time taken by proton also. See, one more thing we have to find out. See, we have to compare with the acceleration. Okay, we have to compare the acceleration with G, that is a gravitational acceleration. Now, see what we can see here, the acceleration of the electron A is equal to EE by M, 1.6 into 10 to minus 19, 2 into 10 to 4, now 9.11. Now this will be very large compared to gravitational acceleration. Okay, this acceleration produced because of the electron, because of the electric field, sorry, will be very large compared to acceleration gravitational acceleration or small. Now see, next is our example 1.9. Now the question says there are two charge, Q1 is plus 10 to minus 8 coulomb and Q2 is minus 10 to minus 8 coulomb. C are separated as shown in figure. Okay, now we have to find out resultant electric field at point A, B and C. Now you know, see the distance of A from Q1 and Q2 is equal, that is given 0.05 meter. Okay, now point B at a distance of 0.05 meter from charge Q1 and point C, okay, you know, at a distance of, see the point C is equidistant 0.01 and 0.0 meter from charge Q1. We have to find out resultant electric field at point A, B and C respectively. First, we find out electric field at point A. Now, for simplicity, Q1 we say is charge 1 and Q2 is 2. Now, first we have to find out electric field at a point A. So what we have to do? See, we have to find out the force acting on a unit positive charge at that place. Okay. Now let us say the test charge is here. Now see, between Q1, that is plus charge and a plus charge, which type of force? There will be repulsive force. So the electric field due to first charge at point A will be E1 and minus Q will attract. So at point A, see, the both field are in the same direction. So E is equal to E1 plus E2. Again, both charge magnitude is same, distance also is same. So we say E1 and E2 are same. E. Okay. Now see, what is the formula for electric field over point charge? That is KQ by R square. 2 into KQ by R square. Now K is 9 into 10 to 9 MKS. Q is 10 to 8 minus 8 coulomb, and distance R is 0.05. Okay. So when we substitute this, electric field at A is 2 into 10 to 9 into Q. Okay, so this is the how we can obtain electric field at point A. Now, next we have to find out electric field at point B. Okay, what we can see in the diagram, that point B is on the left of the side Q1. Now, see, here also we have to find out force acting on a unit positive charge. Now this is plus charge and this is plus charge, there will be repulsive force. So this will be E1, and between minus charge and a plus charge, there will be attraction. Now what we see here, at point B, E1 and E2 are in opposite direction. So E is equal to. Now charge Q1 is 10 to minus 8. R1 is the distance of B from Q1, that is 0.05 meter, 5 into 10 to minus 3. Now Q2 magnitude is same. What is the distance? What is the distance? Okay, R2 is 0.05 plus 0.05 plus 0.05. So it will be 0.05 into 3. Okay, or we can say 0.15 meter. So 15 into 10 to minus 2. Okay, now we have to substitute here. Okay, so then we can obtain the value. EB we can write as 9 into 10 to E1 minus E2. Q is 10 to minus 8 of 1 minus okay, this is how we can obtain electric field at point B. Now finally, electric field at point C. Now what we see here, point C is equidistance at equal distance from charge Q1 and Q2. Now, see, here we have to find out the force acting on a unit positive charge. Now what we see here, between plus charge and a test charge here, there will be repulsive force. So E1 will be like this, and this is negative charge, so will attract. E2. Okay. Now these are the two forces of equal magnitude, okay, but with some angle. So what we can do here, see the magnitude of E1 and E2 are equal and angle between them, okay, angle between them. Now see here, see 0.05 plus 0.05 will be 0.1, 0.1 and 0.1. So what do this suggest? It is an equilateral triangle. Okay. Now in equilateral triangle all angle will be 60. Okay. Now this angle also will be 60. So this linear pair forming angle will be 1. So here theta is 1. Okay. Now again we can use a formula R a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. So e square plus e square. Now we know minus 1 by 2. Okay, so what is the resultant field? That is equal to E. That is nothing but electric field due to point charge, and we know point charge formula is kq by r square. K is 9 into 10 to 9. Now q is charge, that is 10 to minus 8 coulomb, and distance is 0.1 meter. Okay, so here r will be 0.1 meter minus 1. This is how we can obtain electric field at a point C. So by using this principle of superposition, okay, we have obtained electric field at point A, B and C.